Welcome back to my channel. My name's Kiana. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a collective book haul. So these are all from the past 2 or 3 weeks, and most of them are actually like secondhand purchased, so they were only $5 or even $1. So yeah, that is how I justify them to myself during a book buying ban. But yeah, so since I have 40 books, I don't want to waste any time, and let's just get into it. Okay, so starting with these books right here, I got the Infernal Devices trilogy by Cassandra Clare, and I haven't actually read any of the books in the Shadowhunter series yet, so it's kind of dumb that I've bought these and more that you'll see later, but they were a pretty good price. Like I said, most of these are secondhand. So yeah, the Infernal Devices, and I don't really know that much about it because these are later on. So, and then another book that I got was Fourth Wing. I actually got this at Costco, so it was only like $16, and I actually read this through Libby, so I already did rate it. I rated it 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. This follows Violet as she goes to this essentially dragon riding academy. She was supposed to be a scribe, which is kind of just like a historian, and instead of doing that, her mom forces her to go into the dragon riding quadrant. And basically this is just described as a mix of a ton of different fantasy books that have been really popular throughout the years. I would say this is great for like romance readers who are just getting into fantasy because the world building is pretty easy and it's not like super in-depth. But yeah, this book blew up over the internet, so I'm sure you've already heard about it, so I'm not going to talk too much. But yeah, Fourth Wing. All right. And then I also got Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. This is another book that I've heard amazing things about. I am personally like not into video games really at all, but I am still interested in giving this a try since I've heard like video games aren't the absolute central, point of the book. It's more like friendship, I guess. So yeah, I'm really interested to giving this a try. Like I said, so many people that I've seen read this rated it really highly despite it not being their normal thing. So I'm hoping I really like it also. All right. And then I also got The Deal by L. Kennedy, which is the first book in the Off-Campus series. So this is I believe, fake dating. It is like a hockey romance. I've heard amazing things about this book. I know this was like a very big like OG TikTok romance book, but I don't know. I didn't think I was gonna be that into it, but I kept hearing like great things about this one specifically, so I figured I would at least give this one a try. And then I also got Act Your Age, Eve Brown. I have another one in the series that I have not read, but it was on sale, so I figured I would get it eventually. And then, so the next book that I got is Anna and the French Kiss. I've heard maybe 1 or 2 people say good things about it, but it was $1. Yeah, I believe it's YA. Don't know that much about it, but it's got Paris on the cover and the Eiffel Tower, so that's cool, right? All right. And then another one that I also got just because of the cover is The Greek Holiday. This one was $5, so I'm hoping to go to Greece at some point, so I figured this would be fun. And yeah, it just looked like such a perfect summery beach cover, so I figured for $5 I might as well try it. And then another cover buy, which was Better Than Fiction by Alexa Martin. Again, look how cute this cover is. And this was $7.50, so figured I might as well try it. I don't think I've heard anybody say anything about this. Okay, so it's between a book hater and someone who I believe loves book and like runs a book club, so should be really interesting. And then another one that I got was Big Summer by Jennifer Weiner. I've seen this cover at Target a few times and I've always been like tempted to pick it up. It's set in Cape Cod, which I absolutely love, especially for summer, and again, for $5, I figured why not? And so yeah, so the ones that I do actually know more about, I'll go into depth, but some of them I do actually like not really know anything about because I do try to go into books pretty blindly, so I don't know that much, but the ones that I do have like a better description about, I will, describe. And then, so another book that I got is Pride and Premeditation. So again, I got this one for $1. Can't beat that. I believe I've heard some person have this book, but I don't remember what they thought about it, but it does have a blurb from Carrie Maniscalco, who wrote the Kingdom of the Wicked series, which I like decently enjoyed. But yeah, so it's supposed to be like a murder mystery twist on Pride and Prejudice, so yeah. All right. Now, getting into this stack. So again, for $1, this book is by Sandra Brown called Low Pressure. And then, so this is a thriller slash mystery, I'm not totally sure, but basically somebody is murdered and right after that there's like a giant tornado and a lot of the evidence is destroyed, so it'll be interesting to see how they work around that. And yeah, I love a good murder mystery, trying to find out whoever did it, so yeah, this will be fun. And again, $1. Okay, so the next book I got got is Just Haven't Met You Yet. I don't know that much about this one either, but basically they go on, I don't know if she's on vacation, but she like ends up accidentally switching suitcases with this guy, and it is their romance. And like they basically like, you know, she has to like try and find him. So I don't know. Sounded interesting, sounded cute cover. $5. Okay, so this is actually a 4th book in a series, so I'm not going to talk too much about this because I haven't even read the 1st book in the series, which is in this stack, but I believe it was on sale or something. Like, I don't know why else I would have gotten the 4th book, but yeah, so this is the 4th book in the Planet Barbarians series. I don't know, I was feeling unhinged, and this is a result of that. Okay, and then so the next book is Worst Best Man by Mia Sosa. So basically this is about a bride who is left at the altar and then basically ends up having to collaborate on a word project with the best man of the guy who left her at the altar. So this will be interesting, and I've heard good things about Mia Sosa. I haven't read any of her books before, and yeah, it was really cute. Again, $5, so how can I say no? Okay, so the next couple I'm going to talk about together, so these are all part of the Mortal Instruments series, and so these are books 1, 2, 3, and 6, which of course, no, I don't have the entire set, but these are I think the first books that you're supposed to read. So yeah, so I've heard some really good things about this entire series, and I definitely look forward to getting into it at some point soon. I don't know when though, but yeah, so these were each like $5, so, and then so another $1 book that I have absolutely no idea what it's about, but again, simply got because it was $1 and had a decently cool cover, is Would I Lie to You? So this is a thriller, if you could tell. And okay, so basically this is about like a wife of a rich husband who ended up spending all their money, and then I guess he loses his job or something like that, and so they need the money, and she has to basically like come up with a way to get it instead of having to lie to him about it. I think that's what the back sounds like. But and then so this is actually one of the newest books I got, and although the cover is a little bit risque, it actually sounded really interesting when I was reading the cover. This one was from Barnes, so it was full price, but basically this is called Acts of Desperation by Megan Nolan. It's supposed to be about a romantic obsession. Some 23-year-old girl falls in love with some older guy and is like basically toxically changing herself or just trying to get him to love her, and basically he keeps like going back to his ex or something like that. I don't know, the blurb on the top got me. Basically it's a romantic obsession, and I don't know, that kind of reminds me of Magnolia Parks, so thought it sounded interesting and like something that not necessarily would be like a good love story, but would at least be an entertaining read. And then speaking of Miss Magnolia Parks, the new covers came out, and I plan on doing a reread at some point, and my original cover is with a friend. Plus I figured if I were to do a reread, I'd rather do it in these covers than in the original ones that you can't buy anymore. But yeah, so Magnolia Parks, this is one of my like absolute favorite, honestly no, it is my absolute favorite series of all times. Her and BJ and just like the rest of the box set, which is the found family friend group in this series, is just so good. Jessa's writing is absolutely amazing. She just has like a really lyrical quality to it that just is so good at invoking emotions and getting you to like fall in love with the characters and totally understand how they feel, even though if you don't necessarily like what they're doing. But yeah, so this is again about a toxic relationship. Don't necessarily go into this looking for like a love story, but it's hard to not love it. So this book is from the Addicted series, and this is Kiss the Sky. I have not actually read up to this point yet, but I obviously do plan on finishing the series at some point, and since it was a buy one get one 50 book, I just ended up getting that because I don't really see these on that table very often. So this is between Rose and Connor, who, okay, so I only read the first book, but I feel like they might be my favorite because they are academic like rivals to lovers, and he is like really arrogant and kind of cocky because he's just so smart, and I kind of love that, so I'm really excited to get to their books at some point anyways. So the next book is In the Weeds by B.K. Borson. So I think this is, I don't know if it's a sequel or just like you know, connected standalones with Love Light Farms, which I saw a lot of people reading over the holidays, which I did not read, but it is on my Kindle I think. So yeah, I saw this one at Costco for like $10 and figured why not? It was really cute. But yeah, so I guess this starts off with a fling and then he can't get her out of his head or something like that. So yeah, not my typical kind of book. Don't usually love that kind of thing, but when it's done well, it can be really enjoyable. So excited to see this one. And then so this next one, I also, again, this one I got from Costco, so it was like $10 or so. Definitely less than it normally would be in Barnes, of course. And so this book is The Marriage Portrait by Maggie O'Farrell. This one I definitely did buy because of the cover. It is just really chaotic, but also really interesting. And I don't know, it seems really interesting. It's kind of like about court customs. It's set in Florence in the 1550s. And sometimes I am honestly really into history, getting more into it lately. So I don't know, I feel like when I'm in the mood for that, this will be a fun one to pick up. Okay, and then so that leaves us with our last stack. So this next book I actually plan on reading really soon. This is Kiss of the Silky by Tessania Odette. I don't think I've heard anything about this one in particular, but I've heard a few things about this series, which is the Entangled with the Fae series. I've heard Sarah Caroli and Just Allie both say good things about this series and this author, so I'm really excited to see this one. This is a Little Mermaid retelling, which was my absolute favorite Disney movie growing up, so I'm excited to see, you know, like what aspects of that are preserved in this story. Although it is like a darker take on that because she saves him, which breaks their Fae laws, and then because she breaks their Fae laws, she has to kiss him, but her kiss is deadly, so I don't know. It sounds really interesting. Love a good enemies to lovers forbidden romance plot, so yeah, excited to pick this one up. And also, again, such a cool cover. So this next one, again, I got for $1, which makes having all of this like damage and sticker that I can't get off worth it. But this is Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. So this is basically, she is his caretaker and, you know, then they fall in love. I have not seen this movie, but I love Game of Thrones and Emilia Clarke was in this movie, so I heard of it. And then also Sam Claflin was in this movie, so of course I heard of it also from that. But yeah, I have seen the like trailer from the movie, so it looked really cute. And yeah, I figured I should just read the book before if I do want to watch it. And again, $1, so. So this next book that I got is called Between Sisters by Kristen Hanna. And again, this book was $1. So even though it's kind of a dated cover, I figured. And okay, so this is, like I said, by Kristen Hanna, who wrote Firefly Lane, which I read about a month ago or so, and I absolutely loved it, and I was not expecting to fall in love with her writing as much as I did. And that was between two friends. This is between two sisters. It seems like not like a similar plot line, but like kind of a similar like scenario of them having an issue and then, you know, rebonding at some point. So yeah, I figured since I really enjoy this author's work, I might as well get this for $1 and try it out. And I mean, it's not a bad cover, really. Okay, and then so I did kind of mention this one a little bit earlier with, gosh, I don't even remember what it's called, but this is Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon. Again, so I was feeling kind of unhinged when I bought this and was literally just like, what is the wildest romance that I can find right now? And that was this. So this is basically between Georgie and an alien. So Georgie's the girl, and it's between her and, if you could see, this like giant, I don't know if he's actually blue, but I think he is, alien. So yeah, so this girl is abducted by aliens. And it's romance. But yeah, I don't know, it sounds kind of funny, and I feel like if I'm kind of in a wild mood looking for something, you know, it's not bad to have something different sometimes. You don't know necessarily like how far they're gonna take it with the sci-fi, you know, elements, so I figured it would be at least a fun journey, if not a good one. And then so these next books I actually also got at Costco. I think it was like $14 for both of them, and that is the first two books in the Summer I Turned Pretty series. I actually did already read these books. I read them when I don't remember exactly how old, but I was in middle school, and I read it on my Nook, which is like the Barnes & Noble version of a Kindle, because I didn't have a Kindle at the time, I had a Nook. And so I'd never had the physical copies, and I don't know actually what happened to that Nook. As much as I like don't fully remember these books, I have those kind of like nostalgic memories for them, and since I saw them on sale and I really do like these covers, I figured I might as well get them, which has been a common theme in this video. Okay, I don't know if the lighting is different. I've had to keep stopping and restarting filming because my camera keeps overheating. So I don't know if the lighting has changed or anything, but I'm sorry if it has. And anyways, so the next book I got was Red Rising, and this is another one of the buy one get one 50s that I got at Barnes. I've heard so many good things about this. This is apparently a sci-fi. I think you're supposed to go into this one like extremely blind. I mean, this is, you know, the length of the synopsis, but I've heard really good things, even though a lot of the people that have liked this weren't necessarily sci-fi readers. I'm really interested to see how I personally like sci-fi. I don't think I've ever actually read a single one, but I do like sci-fi movies, you know, like I like Star Wars, and I've liked some like of the sci-fi Black Mirror stuff, so I don't know, I feel like I could potentially really love this, and yeah, I'm intrigued. But wow, so someone on the back said it's reminiscent of The Hunger Games and Game of Thrones, and both of those things I absolutely love, so hopefully this is right up my alley. Okay, and so the next book is an Ellen Hilderbrand book. I have a ton of her books already, and I've only read one, which is kind of not great, but this I think is one of her actually more popular ones, and I did actually get this one for I think $5 also, so I figured why not. I love the cover. I feel like even though it's not like the most modern necessarily, it's really fun and definitely very summery. Again, this one, like most of her other ones I believe, are set in Nantucket, Massachusetts. But it basically just seems like it follows, I think, a family through the summer of '69. And yeah, I don't know. I also know that one, like, was the summer of '60, you know that song, so I don't know, that makes me think of this, and I feel like it's gonna be really vibey because of that. Okay, and then so this next book, I actually saw Carrie Reed's talk about this book, and even though she didn't like it, her description of it kind of made me think that I might like it. And so this is a fantasy romance, and I believe it's just kind of like one of those girl gets captured, enemies to lovers, and I think it's also potentially fated mates, and he's like extremely old and she's, you know, a teenager. I don't know, something like that. Usually I tend to like the tropes that she mentions, so when I saw it at Target I had to pick it up, but yeah. Also, look how cool that cover is. I'm in the dragon mood after Fourth Wing, and there's not really that many dragon fantasy books, so I figured this one would hopefully give me what I'm missing after Fourth Wing. Speaking of Fourth Wing, the next book is by the author of Fourth Wing, which is Rebecca Yarros. I've heard a lot of people also really like her other romance, which is The Last Letter. It's like a military something one, but this one I saw at Target, and I don't know, I like the cover. So basically this seems like it follows a plane crash, and so I guess I'm assuming they have to survive, otherwise the story would end there, because that seems like it happens quite early on in the story. At least that's what the back makes it seem like, and I don't know if it's like a second chance thing after the plane crash because these two people meet on it. I don't know, the back is honestly kind of confusing. But I don't know, I trust Rebecca Yarros' writing, so hopefully this does not fail me. And yeah, again, look how cool the cover is. Don't really see that many like airplanes on covers. Okay, so the next two books I'll just talk about together since they are in a trilogy or series together. So these are Ellen Hilderbrand's Winter in Paradise and What Happens in Paradise. I don't even know which one comes first, but these were both $5. These were book of the month books that I got at the secondhand bookstore. And again, so I have only read one of her books, but I did really enjoy it, and these had decent reviews on Goodreads, and for $5 I figured I might as well get them while they were there because potentially I might want to read them. Also, I feel like these covers are also pretty fun and very, very obviously summery. Oh gosh, I'm running out of places to put the books. I'm running out of places to put the books on the floor. Okay, so the next book is another $1 book, which if you can't tell, like I really find good ones. There's a huge section of them at the Book Off bookstore, so if you have one by you, like I said, Book Off, I would recommend really looking into there. Just really search through their $1 section if they have one. If not, they tend to have other good resale books, at least at the one that I tend to go to. And yeah, so I also got this one there, which is the hardcover of Where the Crawdads Sing for, again, $1. $1. And this is, I feel like, a pretty, not new book, but it's definitely not an old book. Obviously the movie came out just a few years ago, but yeah, I haven't actually planned on reading this book ever, but since it was $1, I figured might as well at least try. Okay, so I think this is a thriller, potentially. There's a romance subplot about this girl who grew up living in the marsh, and yeah, honestly, I don't really know that much about it. Apparently they just call her Marsh Girl, so I don't know if she's like bullied, but yeah, so there's Where the Crawdads Sing. And then the very last book in this haul is Kristen Hanna's The Nightingale. This is set during World War II in Paris. So basically this is about a woman and her husband, and she doesn't believe that the Nazis are going to invade France, but he does. And so basically he leaves and she stays. What do you know? As history would tell, France doesn't get invaded. So this is basically about that, which is obviously not really the most upbeat thing. But again, I've heard really good things about this one, specifically of Kristen Hanna's writing, or of Kristen Hanna's books, and I love Kristen Hanna's writing, so I have really high hopes for this one. And also, yeah, like I said, I've been kind of getting back into history lately, thanks to Brittany Broski's videos. If you guys haven't watched some of her like recent stuff, especially the You're Still Prone to Propaganda, it's her propaganda video. That one was so fun to watch, especially since it's actually like historical, and since she like focuses on a lot of art history. I don't know, it was really interesting to watch, and it kind of re-sparked some of my joy for history that I had when I was younger, so it made me even more compelled to pick this book up when I saw it, again, for $5 in the hardcover, so yeah. Okay, so that wraps up today's video. Like I said, we had 40 books, and again, most of them were secondhand, so I don't feel too bad about buying them. And the $1 books, when I bought them one time, one of the employees told me that if they don't get purchased, like I don't know exactly how long they leave them, but they can sometimes end up throwing them out. So I would definitely rather buy them than just let them get wasted. And that's how I justify my book buying addiction, but yeah. But yeah, and then I also will say, like, my birthday is during summer, so I did have a little bit of birthday money, and since I'm not at school, I am, you know, within more close proximity to those secondhand bookstores that I don't normally have the access to when I'm at school. So I do go a little bit more ham during summer than when I'm actually, like I said, at my apartment on campus, so I don't know. Anything to justify all the spending. Oh, also, if you guys have any of these videos that you would like me to read in like a video, or just, you know, get to have my thoughts out, let me know. But yes, so that's gonna wrap up today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one.